Hi learners, is glad to see you in Krishna's space. Today is day 70 of our 300 days DSA journey. So it's time for our today's problem. Let's understand it. So today's problem is squares of a sorted array. Here we have given an integer array called nums, which is sorted in non-decreasing order, and we have to return an array of the squares of each number sorted in non-decreasing order. So now let's get into the examples to understand it more better. Here they have given two examples, example 1 and example 2. In example 1 we have given an array with elements -4, -1, 0, 3 and 10, and in the output they have written 0, 1, 9, 16, 100. And same in example 2, they have given an array with elements -7, -3, 2, 3, 11, and in the output they have written 4, 9, 9, 49 and 121. So basically you can see in the given array we have negative numbers as well, but when we are going to square the negative numbers we get the positive ones. So on the basis of the squares we have to give the output in non-decreasing order. So now let's understand how I approach this problem. As I said that in our given array we have given the negative numbers, but in the output we are not going to have any negative numbers because we have to do squares of each numbers. So that means in our array if there will be positive elements, so their squares will be also positive numbers and they also will be in a non-decreasing order. So there will be no need to sort it. But as we can see we have given negative numbers, and when we are going to square them we will get the positive ones and they can shift their position. As you can see -4 is in starting of our array, but the square of it is in the third position. So same for all the negative numbers, their squares will going to be shift their position. So for that what we can do, we can ignore the negative signs and treat them as a positive one. So now let's get into the code and understand how I have solved this problem. So the first thing that I have done is to get the length of my nums, and thereafter I have created a result list of length n, basically the length of my given array. And thereafter I have created two variables left and right. Basically we are solving this problem with two pointers approach. So that's why there are two variables here, left and right, in which left will going to denote the starting variables of my nums and right will going to denote the ending variables of my nums. Thereafter there is one more variable which is result index, which is going to start from ending of my result array. After that I have run a loop in which the condition is left should be less than or equal to right. When my left will greater than right, we will come out from this loop. So inside the loop I am finding out if my nums of L is greater than my nums of R. Basically I am finding out if my starting element is greater than my ending element or not. Here we are ignoring the negative signs, and that's why I have used absolute function here. So that means we are going to treat negative numbers as positive one. So if my starting element is greater than my ending element, then we are going to put square of my starting element into my result array at the ending position. And thereafter we are going to increment our left variable. But let's say my ending element is greater than my starting element, then we are going to put the square of my ending element into my result array at the ending position. And thereafter we are going to decrement our right variable, and after that we are going to decrement our result index as well. Because now the last position has filled, so we are going to fill the position before the last one. So after coming out from this loop, we are going to return our result array. So now let's take the example 1 to understand it more better. So in the first run, we are going to check if 4 is greater than 10 or not, because our left variable is denoting 4 and our right variable denoting 10. So we know 10 is greater than 4, that means we will get into the else block. And now the square of 10, which is 100, will be placed at the ending position of my result array. And thereafter we will decrement our right variable, and now my right variable will become 3. Same, my result index will also become 3. In the second run we are going to find out if 4 is greater than 3 or not, and we know 4 is greater than 3, so we will get into the if block and we are going to put the square of 4 at the third index, and thereafter we will going to increment our left variable. So in my result list, at 4th position we have 100 and at 3rd position we have 16. And now my result index will be 2. Thereafter, we are going to check if 1 is greater than 3 or not. And we know 3 is greater than 1, so we will get into the else block. And now we are going to put the square of 3 at the second position. And thereafter, we are going to decrement our r, and now my r will become 2 and my result index will become 1. And thereafter, we are going to find out if my 1 is greater than 0 or not. So we know 1 is greater than 0. That means we will get into the if block, and we are going to put square of 1 at the first position. And then we are going to increment our left variable. And now my result index will be 0. Thereafter, we are going to compare 0 and 0 because left and right both are denoting 0. And here in this run, we will get into the else block because 0 is not greater than 0. Now we will put the square of 0 at the 0th position. And thereafter, we will decrement our right variable, and also we will decrement our right index as well. So now my right index will be -1 and my right variable will be 1. So you can see the value of left is 2 and the value of right is 1. So now you can see the condition is not fulfilling. So we will come out from this loop and return our result array. In this, the elements are 0, 1, 9, 16 and 100. So that's how I have solved this problem. If you guys have any other solution of it, do write it on comment, and thank you so much for watching this video and staying with me.